Brendan was, and he's one of my big brothers. In fact, there was 5 years in age between us. But I probably need to tell you a bit about the family. There were 5 children in the Mullen family. It was a Scottish father and I...
Oh, hold on, I'm going to move the mic down for you.
Thank you. Okay. Scottish father and an Irish mother. And Brendan was the second child and the eldest son. So the family went girl, boy, boy, girl, girl. And I'm the 4th child in the family. And we moved from Paisley in Scotland to Stockport in England in 1956. Anyway, there was to me it seemed like a huge 5-year gap between the two of us, Brendan and myself. And I think really what I'm going to try and do tonight is just to tell you a bit about what Brendan and the family, how he interacted with the brothers and sisters and nephews and nieces. So with the 5-year age gap, I just remember Brendan as a very grown-up person who in some ways was distant from me, but in truth he wasn't. He was often putting up with a very irritating little sister when he probably wanted to throttle me. One such memory was at Christmas. It was, I don't know what year it was, but Brendan got a wooden model fort, complete with all the cowboys and Indians. God, I was so jealous, because I wanted it and created this huge fuss because it was what I wanted. But he wouldn't swap. He did let me play with it, but he wouldn't swap it for my doll, which I think was a bit mean, really. Excuse me. Brendan's life revolved around music in those years at home as well, and it often caused ructions for being unsuitable, along with his long hair at that time. And I suppose, really, it was no different to being a teenager in the 60s. But again, he always showed patience with me when I pinched his records to play. And his only demand was that I would put them back in the sleeves when I'd finished, so that they didn't get damaged. And I can never hear Fats Domino singing Blueberry Hill without actually thinking of Brendan. And I suppose as children, you just rub alongside each other, never thinking the day will arrive when you're not together. But I do remember the day that he told the family that he was going to America. Sadness sums it up. Mother trying to persuade him not to go, and as you now know, to no avail. But our lives became different. Brendan left, and although we didn't see him, he was not forgotten, and he was often talked about by all of us. Sadly, Brendan dropped off our radar for years, and I was married to John and teaching in Stockport when he re-emerged. One day at work, I was called to the phone in the staff room just before school started, and when that happened, it was a parent ringing up to say that the child was ill and the child would be in my class. However, I was stopped dead in my tracks as I recognised the Scottish burr. Yes, it was Brendan, and he traced me through the local authority. So we chatted on the phone as though it had just been a week or so since we'd last spoken. And over the years, all our other phone calls felt like that, just picking up where we left off. Stay with our parents for Christmas, but he came very unsettled in early November, and eventually admitted he needed to come home for Thanksgiving. He might have been a Scot by birth, but he was an Angelino by nature. She said, "Hello everyone, I'm Nuala, Brendan's other sister, and I've asked Una to speak a little on my behalf. I'm so very sorry I can't be with you, but I know that Una will convey my feelings perfectly and do a great job for me. We're all here today to celebrate the life of Brendan Mullen, and what a life it was. Brendan was a mixture of a lot of things. He was kind, thoughtful, loving, complex, exceptionally good fun, but there would also be times when you would want to grab him by the throat and punch his lights out." And she says, "I'm his sister, and I'm allowed to say that. And I'm sure Brendan will be the first to agree with me. I'm Brendan's youngest sister, and I am sure there were plenty of occasions when I frustrated the hell out of him, but ultimately we both knew that we loved each other. Mind you, one incident that springs to mind was due to Brendan's actions. When due to Brendan's actions, I was very nearly not here. Our mother had wrapped me up as the new arrival in the family and put me in the corner of the big armchair in the kitchen. Brendan hadn't seen me and stepped on top of me.
Brendan, 1977. Actually, when they were actually putting the mass together for the first time, I was working at the supply sergeant, and I'd walk down in the basement because my dear departed friend Michael Stengun Wallace, who was the original Skull singer before me and then became the drummer, had asked me if I wanted to sing. And I went down and I met Brendan, and we hit it off from day one, and he's been my friend ever since, and I really miss him. And I want to say this: he is so responsible for so many of us, that our lives have been enriched by what he's done. He's touched so many of us, and he's always looked out for us. He was the Skull's pseudo-manager, I guess, for lack of a better word. And we were the only band that played both nights at the Elks Lodge benefit, because he was really good at like just inserting us in places. You know, that was the cool thing about Brendan. I love him. He was so kind to my family, my girls, and I really miss Brendan. And we're going to just try and recreate something that we did back in the days. And I've seen so many faces here, and I love all you guys. And you guys, I know you all love Brendan, so let's give a big shout out for Mr. Brendan Mullen. All right, come on now. Brendan, thank you for this insert. This is the best of all. I love you. I'll be thinking about you every day for the rest of my life. 4, 3, 2, 1! We love you, Brendan. Thank you so much.